Good evening and welcome to the Lowell Humane Society's Paws for Celebration. My name is Leah Basbanes and I'm a longtime volunteer and foster parent, and yes, I have failed many times. I'm here to help us get this celebration started tonight by introducing you to our signature pup tale of the evening. Tito's Handmade Vodka is a sponsor of our event tonight, and we are honored that the Vodka for Dog People has supported this Lowell Humane Society event. So tonight we are making the Cranberry American Mutt. So we start with your favorite mug full of ice, and you add 1.5 ounces of Tito's vodka. You add 1/2 ounce of cranberry juice. 1/2 ounce of fresh squeezed lime, and topped off with 3 ounces of ginger beer. Give it a quick stir and garnish with a slice of lime and enjoy. Thank you to Tito's, and remember to bid early, bid often, and thank you for your support. Have a good evening.
Humane Society. My name is Jill O'Connell. I am the Executive Director for the Humane Society, and I'm here with Crystal Arnott, our Community and Fundraising Manager. To give you a little bit of a background, Lowell Humane Society was founded in 1873 with the mission of preventing cruelty to animals. Today, a lot has changed, but our dedication remains the same. COVID has certainly put, shall we say, it spiced things up a little bit for us. However, since day one of this pandemic, the Lowell Humane Society has remained open. We've stayed true to our mission. We've had to pivot. We've had to change the way that we do things, but we made sure to stay there for our community and support the animals and people that needed us. We switched to virtual adoptions, which was interesting, to say the least. We did a lot more counseling for surrenders over the phone. We had to change the way that we did things every day. We didn't have our volunteers there to support us each and every day like we were used to. We had to limit our contact with the public. But through it all, our mission has remained the same. We want to be there for the animals in our community, and we want to be there to help. And that leads us to why we're here tonight. With your support, we hope that we can continue to do the work that we're doing and what's so important to us at the Humane Society. What we want to do tonight is we want to have a little fun. We want to share some stories. We want to reconnect with all of our donors, our adopters, our friends, and our volunteers. And we want to remind you of the job that we do at the Humane Society. But most importantly, we want to raise some funds for the animals in need. Before we get started tonight, we're going to take a minute to introduce you to some of the sponsors that have allowed us to be here tonight. Crystal?
We are really disappointed that we can't be together tonight in person like we usually are, but we're also very excited that modern technology has allowed us to do this virtually and still connect with you on all of these very, very important topics to us. We wouldn't be able to do any of our work or be here tonight without our sponsors. So we'd like to introduce you to our first 2 sponsors of the evening. Tito's Handmade Vodka was a wonderful sponsor tonight in sponsoring our signature pup tale. Right before we started, Leah, our wonderful foster extraordinaire and handy person and everything else, because that's who we call on whenever anything's broken in the shelter, was kind enough to show you how to make that drink tonight. And we hope that you'll enjoy that all evening long. Next up, we also have Microdesk. They're a fantastic guardian partner who support us all year long, whether it's our 5K run or the Paws for Celebration, or even when 3 sweet little puppies need a home, Microdesk is there to have our back. Now, hopefully you've already logged on and registered to bid tonight, but if you haven't, we're going to walk you through that now. If you have registered, head on over and start bidding.
If you haven't registered to bid yet, head on over to lowellhumanesociety.org now. I'd recommend that you have 2 devices available, one to bid with and one to watch our live stream event. Scroll down to Pause for Celebration Auction, and then click Here to register now. This will bring you to our auction page. On the left-hand side of the menu, you'll want to click on Register. This will bring you through an easy 4-step process to get you started. Once registered, you can head back over here to check out our featured items. We have a lot of great items tonight, but we want to make sure you see these ones. You can take a chance for Lake Tahoe or Hilton Head in our either or opportunity. One lucky donor will choose between a weekend getaway in Lake Tahoe or a stay and play getaway in Hilton Head. You have a 1 in 200 chance of taking this home. We also have our Lucky Dog scratch ticket tree with a $330 in scratch tickets up for grabs. And lastly, the Yeti Cooler Must Watch to Win. You can enter for a chance to win this, but you have to be watching tonight if we call your name. So tune in and make sure you don't stay away from the TV for too long. You can also take a look at all of the other items available for auction. We have everything from art to sports memorabilia, and some silly things as well. Tonight we have a goal to raise $20,000 in donations. If you can, please check out our donation page and choose how you can make a donation and help support us.
Now you had a chance to take a look at all of the wonderful items we have available for auction, from jewelry to themed baskets like beer and wine, 80s movie nights, and all sorts of other fun items are available for you. Think about the holidays coming up and who you can purchase for this year and have it also benefit the animals of the Lowell Humane Society. We'd also like you to consider tonight making a donation to help the animals of the Humane Society. You can go ahead and click on the Make a Donation link on the website to take a look at the suggested donation amounts that we have up there. But every amount makes a huge difference, so give what you can. Your donations make it possible for us to help pets like Choopy. Choopy was a very, how should I say it, spicy cat that came into the Humane Society. He ended up with us because he was a little too spicy for his family at home. He hadn't been spicy until some changes happened in the family, and unfortunately, they had to bring him to us to find a new family. Well, Choopy certainly showed us his spicy side in the shelter as well, but we got to see a very special side of him. He was sweet, he was cuddly, and very curious about everything around him. Soon we discovered he wasn't feeling well either. And after many rounds of blood work, some antibiotics, and many exams by the veterinarian, we finally got him feeling better. And after 5 long months, Choopy found a family to go home with. And we're going to let them talk to you now.
So our friend several years ago adopted his cats from Lowell Humane Society, so that's how we first heard about Lowell Humane Society. We heard about Choopy on the website after our cat Lucy passed away in May, and so we kept looking at the website thinking whether or not we were ready to adopt another animal, and in June, we saw Choopy on the website and we decided to go in and meet him. That's how we met Choopy. Well, I think Lowell Humane Society is a wonderful place to adopt from, because even during the COVID pandemic, we were able to go in and meet we were meeting 2 different cats, and we were given as much time as we needed to interact with them, to get to know them, and to sort of try to the best of our ability to understand their personality and how they would understand in our life, or understand how they would fit in our life. And the staff was very accommodating and able to answer any questions that we needed. So it was a very good experience. Shoopy is kind of a grumpy old man in some ways. He's definitely an only child. He likes to nap. He likes to nap a lot. He also really enjoys climbing. He also really enjoys playing with his, He really enjoys playing with his toys. He has a favorite that kind of looks like a giraffe. So that's what he enjoys doing. I think he's very grateful to be here, so I think it's quite rewarding as well.
We talk a lot about our Lowell Humane Society family, and we want to make sure that everyone realizes who that encompasses. Whether you're a volunteer, a staff member, a board member, an adopter, a donor, a foster home, or someone who just likes to share our social media posts, you are part of that Lowell Humane Society family, and we couldn't do any of our work for the animals without you. We want you to know that we're incredibly grateful for this family that we've built, and we want to share from just a few of you tonight. We're going to head right on over to this interview with multiple volunteers and fosters and adopters to learn a little bit more about why they are happy to be part of this family too.
Since 1873, the Lowell Humane Society family has been growing.
I can't tell you enough how much I love being part of the Humane Society family. They're really people that I feel like I can rely on in a time of need. It's been life-changing for me.
Being part of the LHS family has taught me a lot. One of the things that was really interesting is I walked in there thinking I knew everything about animals. And it was very clear very quickly that I didn't know anything.
It's fun to go in, and the rewarding part, seeing them go home, or dogs that have been there for a long time and knowing that you played a part in them going home.
If you'd like to volunteer,
wanting the animals that are here in the Greater Merrimack Valley that need homes adopted, or for people to volunteer here, it's a great way to give back.
or add a new member to your family,
that day everything was seamless. It was really a great experience from start to finish. When we left, it didn't feel like that ended. From when I got there to the weeks afterward, communicating with them, still, it felt really great.
the Lowell Humane Society is there.
People overlook us sometimes because they think of us, I don't know, not having enough pets or not having the right pet, but we have so many great animals here that need a home.
You know, we have more than just cats and dogs. We have small animals, we have birds, and you know, rather than go to a pet store, there are plenty of animals. This should always be someone's first choice.
Join the family today.
Hi. We love sharing our stories about everything that makes up the Lowell Humane Society, but our stories wouldn't be possible without your generosity. As a nonprofit organization, we rely on your donations to help us thrive and to help us function and to help create all of these stories that we so enjoy sharing. So we're here to remind you to bid and to bid multiple times. We have so many amazing things to bid on. We have some chances that you can take to win. We have items that you can just buy outright. I want to go over a few of those with you right now. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at all of the items, please do go to our site now and check them out. One of our items that is up there is a tree full of scratch tickets. There are $320 worth of scratch tickets on this tree, and it can be yours for just a $20 chance. So we encourage you to take a look at that. One of our other items is an either-or vacation trip. This is pretty exciting. There are limited ticket sales for it. and there's only 200 ticket sales that will happen. And for just a $100 chance, you can choose which trip you would like to take. So you can get a trip to Lake Tahoe, which includes 3 nights and airfare, or you can choose a trip to Hilton Head where you have a 2-night sail on the America's Cup sailboat. So that's another great opportunity. The third one that we have is kind of exciting. It's a Yeti cooler. And the catch with the Yeti cooler is for just a $20 chance, you can take it home. However, you have to be watching tonight in order to be eligible. So in just a little while, we'll announce the winner of the Yeti cooler, and you'll be given a number to call. So it's limited who can win because you have to be watching us now in order to do that. There's also, just for general auction items, we have a ton of other items, some really fun items as well. We have some electronic items like AirPads. We have a Furbo dog camera, which I have one at home. It's pretty cool. I can watch my dog. He doesn't do much. It's not that exciting, but your dog might be a little bit more exciting. So I definitely recommend it. I've been very happy with mine. We also have all sorts of themed baskets. We have an Attitash getaway. And this one is pretty specific to us. You're not going to find it with many other places, but we have a Kitten Cuddle party. So with your chance, you can buy a chance to cuddle with a litter of foster kittens before adoption. So lots of great items up there. And now just for another quick reminder of why it is that we're here.
We are really excited to share with you tonight a video about Aiden. And Aiden started out as Doogie Howser, and he was renamed by his adopter, and he had quite the extensive medical history. Do you want to tell us about that?
Sure. I love the seniors. I love the little guys, so they definitely hold a special place in my heart. Aiden was found as a stray off the streets of Lowell when he came to us. We weren't sure exactly how old he was, but he was estimated to be around 12 years old. He was in pretty rough shape. He needed full extensive blood work. He had thyroid disease. He had dental disease. He wasn't neutered. He was a little money pit, is what it really comes down to. But we knew he was worth every penny that we needed to spend in order to make him healthy. So he did find a home. It took a good long 2 months. He spent some time in foster homes. He spent some time at the shelter, and finally found his place to call home. And we have a little follow-up with his adopter to let you know how he's doing now.
I was looking to adopt another dog, and I wanted to get a senior dog. I have 2 dogs, and I usually have 3 dogs, so I felt during the coronavirus I was ready to look for another dog, but it had to be a senior. So I had been looking at a lot of sites, and I was originally from Lowell, and I looked at the Lowell Humane site, and Aiden was the first picture and bio that I saw. My experience with Aiden, it's the first time from the Lowell Humane Society, and it was great. It was fantastic. All my phone calls were returned right away. The email was returned right away. And just the information on Aiden, everything was very accurate, and they made it very easy for me. Aiden is a good boy. He is very, very calm, as you can see. And which really surprised me because I've had 10 dogs and I just couldn't believe how calm he was. You know, for an older dog, I was told that he was a stray for a while, and I thought there might be some adjustment issues, and I was ready to have a lot of patience with an older dog, and he's the easiest dog I've had as far as adjusting. He basically adjusted right from the time we put him in the back seat of the car and drove home.
As Jill mentioned, all of this tonight is for the animals at the shelter, the homeless pets that come in needing us the most. These are pets that arrive and maybe they need medical care. They may need new dental work. They may need orthopedic surgery. There is no end to the crazy things that we've seen recently. And although our intake this year has been down 45%, our medical bills are still higher than they've ever been. Even though we're seeing less animals, the animals we are seeing need much higher medical support. we recently had probably the most exciting thing that's happened in a while come into the shelter, and that is a sweet cat named Tootsie. When Tootsie came in, she had quite the wound above her eye, and we weren't exactly sure what was going on with her at first. And we soon discovered that she had a botfly larva burrowed into her eyebrow, for lack of a better term. We were quickly able to get her surgery and get that repaired, and she's feeling better than ever and is finally headed off to her adoptive home. So we're really excited that we were able to jump into action and respond to that. But your donations are really what make it possible for us to respond to that. We can only bring them to the vet and get them that medical care when you can support us. So we want you to make sure you head over to the donation page and take a look. We're currently at just under $5,000, which is a great place to be at this time in the night. But as you can see, our goal is $25,000 this evening. We hope that you'll help us get there tonight by 8 o'clock when we end our program. Now, bidding on the auction items will continue until midnight on Sunday night, but this Fund a Need portion, our goal is really to meet that goal this evening before the live stream is over. So if you can, head over and make a donation if at all possible. Now, we are really excited that we partnered tonight with Tito's Handmade Vodka. They were wonderful with supplying us all sorts of swag and toys for the dogs to play with at the shelter, some fun t-shirts for adopters and for our staff and volunteers to wear, and most importantly, they just support organizations all across the country. Tonight, they have stepped up and they're willing to donate a match to all of our donations this evening, up to $5,000 for the next 30 minutes. So, or about 40 minutes until the end of the program this evening. So please go ahead and make a donation, and they will match up to $5,000 tonight. We are going to just let them tell you a little bit more about themselves with their Vodka for Dog People video.
At Tito's Handmade Vodka, dogs have been part of our story for over 20 years. Since we started, strays have been wandering up to the distillery. We feed them, get them healthy, and someone here always falls in love and brings them home. They chose us early on, so we were naturally inspired to help them in every way we can. We're Vodka for Dog People. Our program is built on over 800 annual animal-related nonprofit partnerships, events, and campaigns. Each one shares the goal to better lives of pets and their families far and wide. We support other companies' efforts to create dog-friendly work environments like ours. And 100% of the net proceeds from dog swag sold on our web store benefit Emancipet's affordable veterinary services at their ever-expanding system of clinics. There's always dogs around at Tito's. We wouldn't know what to do without them.
Now, we couldn't do any of this tonight without our special sponsors who are helping to support all of the expenses of putting this event on. That means all of your donations go straight to the animals because our sponsors covered all of our expenses. So we'd like to thank these sponsors next: Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union, Chelmsford Animal Hospital, Westford Veterinary Emergency Referral Center, Enterprise Bank, We would also love to thank our Puptail sponsor once again for providing us with the recipe for this great drink that you're enjoying, hopefully at home. And if you are enjoying it, please do make sure that you post a selfie over on our social media and let us know that you're watching. So go ahead and refresh that cocktail. It's the Cranberry American Mutt. And if you're just tuning in, we want to remind you that this event is only as great as you make it. So if you haven't registered, please head over to our website and register now. If you're already registered, then go ahead and keep bidding.
If you haven't registered to bid yet, head on over to lowellhumanesociety.org now. I'd recommend that you have 2 devices available, one to bid with and one to watch our live stream event. Scroll down to Paws for Celebration Auction, and then click on Click Here to register now. This will bring you to our auction page. On the left-hand side of the menu, you'll want to click on Register. This will bring you through an easy 4-step process to get you started. Once registered, you can head back over here to check out our featured items. We have a lot of great items tonight, but we want to make sure you see these ones. You can take a chance for Lake Tahoe or Hilton Head in our either or opportunity. One lucky donor will choose between a weekend getaway in Lake Tahoe or a stay and play getaway in Hilton Head. You have a 1 in 200 chance of taking this home. We also have our Lucky Dog scratch ticket tree with a $330 in scratch tickets up for grabs. And lastly, the Yeti Cooler Must Watch to Win. You can enter for a chance to win this, but you have to be watching tonight if we call your name. So tune in and make sure you don't stay away from the TV for too long. You can also take a look at all of the other items available for auction. We have everything from art to sports memorabilia, and some silly things as well. Tonight we have a goal to raise $20,000 in donations. If you can, please check out our donation page and choose how you can make a donation and help support us.
Hi. We wanted to take a minute to introduce you to a couple special guests that we had. This is Zoe, and that over there is Zara. And they are participants in our foster care program. The shelter really wouldn't be able to function and run the way that it does on a daily basis, especially during this pandemic, without the incredible foster homes that we have. In order to keep our foster homes up to date with the vaccinations that their animals need, their spay-neuter appointments, whatever might be going on, might be ailing them, whatever treatments they might need, it's really important that we have someone that can help coordinate all of that information. And that's what our foster care and volunteer coordinator, Lindsay, is doing. She just came on board fairly recently and thought that the job would be pretty easy because it was COVID. There were no volunteers in the building. How hard can it be? Well, we showed her. So I'll take a minute. Do you want to give a little more information about Lindsay before we get to her?
Lindsay was a really great addition to our team earlier this year, but she was not a stranger to us or our program. Lindsay was a volunteer for the past 7 years, walking our dogs, snuggling bunnies, and also fostering bunnies. I think her most famous claim to fame was a litter of bunnies that she fostered, a mom and her babies who she just doted on as if they were her own. She made up some really creative names and the community just totally loved them. So we are really happy that Lindsay is part of that team now, and we're really excited about all of the changes she's making to our program and the future that we're looking at with her as part of our team. So we're going to head over to Lindsay in just a few minutes, but right now we're going to just visit back to a few of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Ink Cups, Vivint Solar with Dave Decker, Wignall Animal Hospital, Washington Savings Bank, Bulger Veterinary Hospital, and the individuals who've sponsored us: Jordan Elliott, the Orfanos family, Paula Judge, Jacqueline Dennison, and Dina Gerosidaris. Now, Lindsay and our team are joining us from Zoom, and we are really excited to have them here tonight. She there? Lindsay, can you hear us? We can pop back over to me if you want. Oh, there. If you want to go back to me for a minute, we can do that.
It's live. It's working.
Hi. So we're having just a few technical difficulties with the Zoom, and I think we're running a little early, so they weren't expecting us. So we'll take a few minutes to just tell you a little bit more about what's going on at the shelter. Over the summer, obviously when COVID first hit, or in the spring when COVID first hit, we had to figure out some new ways to do things pretty quickly. So we were able to jump into action and stop having our volunteers come into the shelter for their safety and our staff's safety. During that time, we were having a pretty difficult time, and we had to figure out what to do quickly because our small number of staff couldn't keep up with the animals. So we jumped into action, and we got our foster program even more beefed up and sent the majority of animals into foster homes. I think that we sent over 30 animals into foster in one day only, and that made it a lot easier on the staff to care for the ones who couldn't leave the shelter, who needed that additional TLC. Now, we're ready to go back over to Lindsay, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about our foster and volunteer program. And you're also going to have a chance to meet a few of our Lowell Humane family members who are part of a team of staff and volunteers.
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Andella and I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Lowell Humane Society, as Jill and Crystal just mentioned. I've had the pleasure of being a volunteer for Lowell Humane Society for the past 7 years, and I just started on as a staff member this past September. And despite Jill saying that it would be easy and everything, it has been, all the stuff that came with it, it has been the best decision that I've made. I really enjoy working for the Lowell Humane Society, and getting to be the volunteer coordinator is literally a dream job. Not only because I get to work with all of the wonderful animals and get to see all their adorable faces every day, but also because I get to work with the most amazing people in the world, our foster families and our volunteers. And today I am joined by 3 of our amazing foster families and volunteers, who you're going to get to hear a little bit from each of them. So we're gonna start off with Kerry Sutherland, who is a volunteer with us. She's been volunteering since 2017, and she is also an ongoing volunteer at the shelter right now. During COVID, she's been with us every single week. She comes in, takes care of the dogs, does everything that we need her to do. So Kerry, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about what made you get involved with the shelter and what makes you stay so involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lindsay, for thinking of me for this segment. And I'm really excited to be a part of this virtual event, although I miss the energy of seeing everybody in person. I started volunteering and getting involved with the shelter. I think, like many other volunteers, they'd probably give a similar answer, but it's because I'm an animal lover. I have a passion to help animals, and I've grown up with many, many, many different types of dogs. Everyone knows I'm a person that would probably take home every dog I come across if I could. Without my aggressive bully in the other room, I'd have probably 10. So volunteering is a way I can interact and help dogs other than my own. I also get the privilege of not only interacting with dogs, of course, at the shelter, but also making those connections with the amazing volunteers. Hi to everyone that's watching. We have formed kind of our own little LHS shelter family, and we love watching it grow. As Lindsay mentioned, I've also been volunteering still. During COVID, I show up every Saturday morning during my scheduled shift, if you will. We have shifts just to make sure there's not too many people in the building, stopping the spread of COVID. But I truly believe that the shelter and staff are kind of a forgotten essential business or essential function job role, because animals need care 365 days a year, regardless of holidays, regardless of a pandemic. And staff really relies on their volunteers to provide that extra care, the extra enrichment for the animals. So whenever I can't make it, I'm probably more upset than the staff or the dogs themselves, but the reward ultimately I get from volunteering, it's worth every minute. And if anyone's thinking about volunteering when their pandemic is over, I very highly recommend it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kerry. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate having you on the team. And as Kerry mentioned, the COVID-19 pandemic has definitely played a major role and really changed our volunteer program around a lot. We have a limited amount of volunteers that can come into the shelter. So we definitely really rely on the volunteers who are coming in each day to help us get everything done. And with the pandemic, we have been sending a lot of animals into foster. And our foster families play a major role right now, all the time, really, but especially right now. So with us today, we have Betsy Shepard, who is one of our long-term foster families. Betsy's been fostering for the organization for since 2015, and she actually just recently hit her 50 animal milestone. So she's fostered cats for us. So Betsy, I know that with 50 cats, you must have had a lot of stories, but why don't you tell us about one of your favorite foster experiences with LHS?
Sure thing. Can you all hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. That was a super hard question about the greatest experience. And if you look around, you don't see 50 cats in my house. So far I've been somewhat successful. So for the greatest experience, I really thought I have to go with a global view for this. And my greatest experience and the reward to me is being able to be a small part of that like magical transition from vulnerability to resilience. Because when animals come into foster, there's a vulnerability, right? Either there's medical needs, or they're stressed out in the shelter, or they were found outside, or maybe they're just really tiny and they need some extra TLC. So for me to be able to be part of the environment and give all the nurturance they need in order to see these guys heal and grow and thrive and become their best possible little selves is just amazing to me. And then knowing that going forward, they'll be able to bring that into their future home and become someone's best friend and companion and bring all that joy to them over time is just, to me, that's the most rewarding thing I could ever ask for. And yes, I bawl my eyes out at every adoption, over 50 of them now. I spend a lot of time crying in the parking lot. But for me, that just says to me how much I've bonded with that animal and how attached I am. And I know if that relationship is possible with me, then they're going to bring that forward into their forever family. And I know how much joy they bring to everyone. So that is my greatest experience.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Betsy. You've definitely made such a huge impact in so many animals' lives for the better. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
And finally, we have one of our newest foster families with us here today. Nick has just started fostering with us. He reached out when the pandemic started and wanted to find a way to help. He lives locally and he loves animals and he just wanted to get involved. I don't think that he thought his first foster would be such a challenge, but we knew he could do it. So Nick was actually the foster dad for Tootsie, our cat that had bot fly. So when we called Nick and we said, hey, we have this cat, there's a lot going on here, but we think you can do it. Nick said, of course, I'll be down right away to pick her up. So Nick, can you tell us a little bit about your experience fostering Tootsie?
Oh, absolutely. And I think I'm getting double audio here. So first of all, thank you for including me in this segment. I really didn't anticipate, being such a new foster parent that I would be, getting involved so deeply right away. So that's very exciting. So really, I mean, the best like surprise, and I think that what really put me at ease was the fact that the Lowell Humane Society was just so accommodating right from the get-go. This is my first foster experience, as you explained, and I didn't really know what I'd be getting into, the challenges associated with that. And you guys just really, went above and beyond with providing everything from, blankets and food and litter and all that stuff, So that was really fantastic. And, I was very pleasantly surprised with how well Tootsie adjusted as soon as she got home. She was, not very shy in spite of the really what I imagine must have been a traumatic surgery for her and a really terrible experience to go through. So, the fact that she was just right away zooming around the house and exploring and, she really took to us very well. So, it was definitely encouraging. And if there's anybody out there who is sort of on the fence about fostering or is nervous about doing it for their first time, let me be the one to tell you that it really is so rewarding. And, LHS is going to go above and beyond to make sure that you have everything that you need and stay in touch regularly, make sure that, the animals are doing well. So, thank you guys for all that. I'm really looking forward to Miley, who's going to be the next one in our home, and maybe I'll even get to 50 one day if I stick it out long enough. So
Well, we certainly hope you do stick it out to 50 and many more. Yes, we already have Nick queued up for another foster on Monday, so he's learning very quickly that how important of a role our fosters play in the organization. Well, thank you all for sharing your stories and experiences with us. Right now, we aren't accepting any new volunteers into the program, just with everything going on in the world and COVID-19 for safety reasons, but we're hopefully to eventually be able to take in new volunteers sometime in the new year. Keep an eye on our social media platforms for any updates. As soon as we're able to take in more volunteers, you will know it. And we actually are able to still accept foster families right now. So if you're interested in that, head to our website, fill out an application, and I'll be in touch with you. We'd love to get more people involved. Now I'm going to send it back over to Crystal and Jill. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And thank you to the wonderful foster families and volunteers and Lindsay for zooming over with us to just give a little bit of information from volunteers and fosters about how important everything that we do really is. We are getting close to time to call the winner for the Yeti. So if you haven't gone over to get your chance yet, make sure you head there and do that now, because we are going to be closing it in about 4 minutes. It's a wonderful opportunity. We're only selling 100 chances, so you could take this home tonight. It is a really great cooler. It's a $300 value, and you can fit lots of stuff in there. So all of your donations, whether you're purchasing chances for the raffle or for the chances tonight, or if you are making donations to the page, every single penny goes back to the animals in the shelter, because that is really what we're all about. Our sponsors were great to cover all of our expenses, so all we have to do now is take that money that you are giving so generously and use it to help the animals. Animals just like Hank. And Hank has a very special place in my heart, and I think everyone who has ever met him. He fondly goes by Hank the Tank, and he captured all of our hearts from the moment he waddled his chubby little bottom into our shelter. We had him with us for months, and he went to special adoption events. He visited the Lowell Spinners Bark in the Park. He had no medical issues, and for some reason, he just sat in the shelter. And we have no idea why it took so long for him to find a home. That is until we met his adopters, and we realized he was just waiting for them. So we could tell you all about this wonderful family, but I think that it is best to hear it from them. So here's to Hank's video.
I was mainly looking for a dog or a pet in general. I was looking at dogs and cats, and one of the resources that I found was Pet Finder, and ended up on page 27 of Pet Finder to
27.
Yeah, page 27 to find Hank. And the moment I saw his picture and saw the video that was attached to it, fell in love. But Lowell Humane Society really made it very easy for us. Crystal and the team there, they were fantastic at helping us get settled with Hank. We met him 2 times before.
Yeah, I think maybe 3, including the time when I met him after you did.
Yeah. So we met 3 times and then decided that Hank was the one, and we went and picked him up on the day of. It was very easy. I think one of the biggest challenges is for people to develop the courage to go for a pet.
Yeah.
That
it's definitely an adjustment if you're expecting to adopt a puppy.
Yeah, as opposed to an older dog that has had a history with other families, has potential medical issues. I think despite all of that, if you have the courage to go for it, it can make for some
such
wonderful
a great
times.
experience.
It is so rewarding to have a new member of the family come in from outside and you know, just fit in right at home.
Best advantages, I think, of having a dog from a shelter, I think it's also the dog realizes it's going to a new home and it shows you the love accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a wonderful experience.
It's an amazing depth of emotion that you know, Hank has brought to our family. I can't imagine life without Hank, and I can't imagine not, you know, having gone in and going through the process. I highly recommend it for anybody that, you know, has a home that, you know, they can share with a pet.
Thanks again for joining us tonight. I just wanted to take a moment to have you look at our Fund a Need thermometer. So we're getting closer to our goal. As you can see, we still have a long way to go. So we've got a lot more stories to tell you. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll get in as much as we possibly can. And I also just wanted to mention, being a small shelter, we don't have a lot of overhead. Clearly, we don't hire marketing teams to professionally do our videos for us. We have amazing volunteers that can do the videos, and we don't have professionals that do this. So you get us because we save on overhead and we spend all of that money that we're not paying professionals on the animals. So please know that your generosity goes directly to the animals in our care.
Ain't that the truth? We're not professionals. We're really excited and hope that we'll reach that $25,000 goal tonight. So continue to give, and remember that our friends at Tito's Handmade Vodka are going to continue to match that up to $5,000. So I think we're getting close, and we want to make sure that we get every dollar of that matched. So make sure that you give if you can. We're really excited about everything going on right now tonight. There are so many amazing items for you to choose from, and we want to make sure that you check in and look at all of the wonderful trips we have available. There is a great house in Florida that you can rent. It's a 5-bedroom house with its own screened-in pool and game room. So even if you're not feeling like you can go out and be out and with other people during COVID, you could still head on down to this private home in a gated community and have a nice week for your family of swimming and playing in the game room and just relaxing. We also have a really great cabin up in Maine. It's an off-grid cabin out in the woods, and there is just peace and quiet. Now, it is off-grid, so make sure you're comfortable using an outhouse, but I can't tell you how much fun I have personally when we go off-grid camping, and there's just no noise, and it's quiet, and you can really convene with nature. So make sure you check that out as well.
And it's dog-friendly with lots of trails.
That's true. It's dog-friendly with lots of trails, and you just might meet Buddy, who was adopted from us, because coincidentally, he owns that off-grid cabin. We're really excited that you're here with us tonight, and we thank you for tuning in. If you think of it, please go ahead and share the link with friends and family. Bidding will stay open until Sunday at midnight, so share with your friends and family. Ask them to match your donation to help the homeless pets we have today. We're going to pull that Yeti winner in just a few minutes. But right now, we would like to highlight the Lake Tahoe or Hilton Head chance that you could win. Now, that is a really big chance that you could a really big trip that you could take home. It's a trip for 2, and you get to choose whether you go to Lake Tahoe or Hilton Head. And there's a 1 in 200 chance of winning, so it's really great odds. It's $100 a chance, so please go ahead and head over there to get your chance tonight. We are going to keep that open until it reaches at least 100 tickets. So if we don't sell 100 this evening, that'll stay open until we reach at least 100, but our goal is 200. So please go ahead and share that with friends and family as well. We're really excited tonight. I think I've said that 100 times, so hopefully you're getting the message. I don't know. But I'm going to turn it over to Jill, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about some of the other animals we've helped this year.
So you've heard us talk a little bit about Fund a Need, but I'm not sure if you understand exactly what that means. But basically, it's to fund a specific need at the shelter. And all of our Fund a Need money goes to take care of the medical needs of the animals that are sort of out of the ordinary, although it seems like some of them are more ordinary than they used to be. So to give you some examples of some of the funding that is spent on a regular basis in the shelter, last year, which to remind you, it was during COVID and our numbers were lower, Just on lab processing, and that's basically doing senior blood work and all kinds of things that need to be processed through the lab, we spent $15,000 for the animals in order to make sure that they were healthy or to find out what was ailing them. Outside medical is what we would call basically when an animal has something that we can't treat in-house and they need to have medical care provided by an outside agency. Usually this would be emergency rooms, emergency visits, orthopedic surgeries, things that we can't do in-house. And we spent $24,000 alone last year taking care of those needs for the animals in our building. Surgical supplies, $6,000. This is just in one calendar year. Tests as far as vaccines, tests for heartworm, $4,000. Medical supplies in general, which would be like antibiotics, flea treatment, things of that nature, $14,000. So that's $73,000 just on some medical needs for the animals. That doesn't include their shelter, their food, their regular basic maintenance that they need while they're in the building. So that's why the funded need is so important. Now I'd like to show some faces that can kind of make you understand a little bit more why it's important. First is Gizmo. Gizmo came to us at the shelter and was having lots of difficulty walking. He was unstable. He needed to go to an emergency vet to have x-rays, and we found out that he needed FHO surgery, which is basically hip surgery. Has to be done by a specialist. Most average veterinarians don't do that type of work, so we knew it was going to be expensive, but we knew that it would prolong his quality of life, and it was money worth spending on the dog that needed it. We have animals, I can name lists every day. There's new animals that are coming in that need some sort of medical care that's just above and beyond what normally happens. Buddy Bear is another example. He came to us after we got a call from a vet hospital, and this happens a lot. A person surrenders their animal to a vet hospital because they simply can't afford the surgery that's needed. He had a urinary blockage. He had to be unblocked. He had to be monitored for litter box issues. He had to be on long-term antibiotics. He had to be on a special diet. All of that was done for him while he was at the shelter. He was given the months that he needed to recuperate, and his new adopter was given a lifelong history of him from everything that had happened and how well he had done in the foster home. Next is an interesting one and kind of one of my favorites of the year. This is Cassidy. She came to us after a cockatiel in the household bit her leg. It was so severely injured that it needed to be amputated. And she had to learn, after her leg was gone, how to perch again. And it took time. She had to live in a glass aquarium with, again, one of our foster homes who kind of nursed her back to health. And then you can see her finally able to perch on her one leg with her new flock of friends. Finding an avian vet that's willing to amputate a leg, not easy. So these are the dilemmas and these are the things that we have to figure out each and every day. Who we use for a vet, who's going to be the most reasonably priced, what can we do for that animal to prolong their quality of life? Decisions like this have to be made on a regular basis. Sophie is another example. Beautiful cat. Came to us in dire straits, needed to be rushed to the emergency vet hospital almost immediately on intake. She had what is called a pyometra, which means she had an infected uterus that needed to be removed. So we did the surgery. There wasn't a question. That's a surgery we've done many times before, unfortunately too many times. It happens often with cats that are unspayed. And during the surgery, she also had a mammary mass that was removed that had to be sent out for biopsy. The biopsy came back that she had cancer. And we explained that to potential adopters, and to one special family, it didn't matter. And they adopted her and agreed to take care of her and do whatever it needed to make her comfortable. Last is Lola. Lola also came to us from a vet hospital after she was surrendered there because the donor couldn't afford her care. She had a hole in her liver, otherwise known as a liver shunt, and she was basically slowly dying, and she needed emergency surgery. And again, it was a challenge to find the right vet that could do that. I think estimates were ranging from $4,000 to $6,000 alone, and wasn't known whether or not what her survival rate was going to be like. She was an amazing little puppy, and we thought she was worth every penny. So we made sure to line up a foster home to care for her after her surgery. We got the surgery done, and we got this great little update just the other day that we want to share with you.
experience was quite interesting given the times of COVID, but very smooth on behalf of the Lowell Humane Society. So we did have to do all of our paperwork and everything electronically and by phone, but we were able to have our visit outside in the parking lot, and everyone was super friendly. We fell in love immediately, and the paperwork and the rest of the process was really quick and easy. Lola is
very playful.
Very playful, super crazy. She gets the puppy zoomies all the time, we say, and she starts running around in circles, and she's a lot of fun. Definitely
very loving.
Very sweet and loving. But during this COVID time this year, it's been really hard and, you know, emotionally sometimes sad. And when we look at her, it's automatically just makes you happy and feel warm inside. And to know that she loves us just the same as we love her, it's really awesome. Lola was born with a small hole in her liver, so she was actually quite sick and lethargic just as a little puppy. The shelter performed all of the surgeries, all of the follow-up and medications, and got her ready. And when we adopted her, the day we took her home, we had all of the medical notes and records, and she was in perfect health. Hopefully we can share the message to other folks thinking about adopting, even if you've never done it before, that there are plenty of pets who need homes, and they are very loving and well taken care of in the shelter, so it's an easy transition to the house as well. I would definitely encourage checking it out.
We are so lucky to have wonderful adopters, just like Lola's and Sophie's, who will take in animals knowing that they came with really complicated medical backgrounds, but are willing to take them in and give them all the love they need. Now, we're here raising funds tonight, and all of the items that you're bidding on tonight will go right to the animals as well, but it's really important for us to reach our $25,000 fund in need goal. Right now we're just under $10,000, so we would love to crank that up and reach our $25,000 goal tonight, so please share that with friends and family. Donations like yours and getting us to reach that goal mean that we don't have to turn animals away. When a parakeet comes in and needs their leg amputated, we can jump right into action and say yes. When a pet like Sophie comes in and needs emergency surgery, we can jump right into action and bring her over to the veterinary hospital. Just 2 days ago, we had a rabbit come right into the shelter, and she was in the midst of giving birth, and unfortunately there were major complications, and we need to try and save her life right away. We didn't skip a beat. We jumped right in the car and brought her over to get surgery right away, and thankfully we were able to save her life. With your donations, we don't have to think about whether or not we can afford to do that surgery. We just know that you have our back. So please, help us pad our medical fund so that we can just continue saying yes without thinking when even an animal as small as a parakeet comes in needing our help. Hopefully, we'll reach that $25,000 goal soon.
Just want to remind everybody that bidding is going to remain open tonight. Being in the first year that we're doing this event, we went back and forth as to when we'd close bidding, how long do we keep it open, and we knew that we'd have a lot of good supporters that are watching tonight, and you may just have forgot to share it with friends and family. So we want to give you that opportunity to be able to do that. So bidding is going to remain open until midnight on Sunday, and then it will close. Once bidding closes, we'll notify all the winners and set up pickup times, and it will be emails including all of that information. So bidding is going to remain open, and that means the fund in need and all of the opportunities to donate will also continue to remain open. Like Crystal said, a few days ago, there's a rabbit that comes in needing emergency surgery. I mean, every day, just since writing what we were going to say tonight, there's new stories that come up. Bottle-fed kittens came in the day after the rabbits that need potentially tube feeding, bottle feeding, round-the-clock care. Again, not something that we're going to hesitate to take in. So all of your donations allow us to have the supplies needed to take on those as they happen, and we can't do what we do without your support. So give generously, bid, and best of luck.
We're really excited now to pull the winner for the Yeti Chance. So thank you all for tuning in and who purchased a chance. Alyssa Finnegan, you are the winner of the Yeti raffle, and we will be in touch to have you pick up that cooler at the Humane Society sometime in the coming week. Now, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors once again, because we wouldn't be able to do this without them. We want to thank Tito's Handmade Vodka for being our Puptail sponsor and also for that amazing $5,000 match. So thank you, Tito's. We would also like to thank Microdesk for always being there for us, for having our back for every event, and also for adopting those cute little puppies and sharing with us all the time. We love getting those photo updates. We would also like to especially thank you, our Lowell Humane Society family. We could not do any of what we do without each and every one of you. So keep donating, keep sharing our social media posts, keep adopting. Thank you, and good night.
you.